Hello, guys, and welcome to Trekyards. I'm Captain Foley.
And I'm Connor Cochran.
Today, we're going to be talking about the intro sequence for the new show Lower Decks. I was anticipating this one quite a bit. I wanted to see what it was like, and it surprised me in many ways. And it was actually very good. So let's break it down and talk about it a little bit.
And I wasn't even thinking about it, so when it came up, I was like, "Oh yeah, we got titles. I forgot about that." And titles are an odd one because if you break down like the history of the titles, TOS is the music, and but it's very simple. But it's like, TNG is beautiful, ambitious, very visually. I mean, in HD it holds up even better. DS9, they really like, this is the station. Look, and I think with the music for the second version, it's even better with the Defiant. Like, it's really pretty. Voyager is, again, art on screen. And they were really pushing the visual effects well, ahead of its time. Enterprise takes a completely left-turn approach and shows a well-edited series of images, including some new stuff, with a pop song, in essence, although it's a very positive, it's a good tone setting, like a positive, like it's the mission statement for the people on board the ship, but it's a radical left turn. And then we had for Discovery, it was art again with very underwhelming music and a lot of producers, but arty. And then Picard, we had, it kind of teases the story, but it's very abstract. And
Which makes me wonder if it's going to be different for season 2.
Oh, I would expect so, yeah. But it doesn't, like, I can't even think what's in it really. It doesn't. But the music's good because it's a callback to Inner Light. That's cool. So we haven't really had a title sequence since Voyager, like an actual title, or Orville, because that's a beautiful title sequence. So this is the first one of the title sequence ilk. I mean, were you expecting that sort, or were you so expecting an odd one, because we've had them since 2001?
I was expecting an odd one and a short one, because a lot of shows these days, especially cartoons, have like a 10-15
title card.
Intro. Yeah, exactly. This one, though, with the way it was leading in, I'm like, are they going to use literally the TNG music? And it's like, no, it's got that first few, beats that are very reminiscent. And then it's kind of the same thing, but very toned down. And it just feels TNG. Even all the visuals you get some nice flybys of the ship, which is awesome because I love flybys of the ships. And I love that it's not just the ship flying by, or the more simple one like TNG as well. That started out great with Saturn and the moon and all that, but this one is very, very like gratifying to see. There's some, and it sets the tone of the show so beautifully. Like, you know exactly what to expect when you watch this. So it does its job beautifully. Absolutely.
Just like the whole show, which is about, unlike Discovery and Picard, the ship is actually a character. It already feels more characterful than those ships by a long way, and so the ship is meant to be one of the lowest end of Starfleet ships, and that follows through the bridge design and other things. And the title sequence, I think, again, it's not that heroic, beautiful music. I really can't pick. I've only heard it like 3 times. I can't picture the music. It doesn't stand out as being ooh. But yeah, you remember the first chord. You remember the end chord. You remember. This is a sort of like TNG's second cousin who works, in a shop. And that's fine, but it isn't that fighter pilot going forward or that NASA pilot going deep space. It's a much more gentle, simple,
It doesn't have the gravitas of TNG like that.
No, it doesn't.
That very hard hitting. And when I first saw it, I'm like, are they really gonna? Are those going to hit the ship? Yeah, okay. Now I know what to expect. I didn't quite expect the same thing to happen again in the next scene, though, when they clip the ice and the one to cell flickers off. I'm like, okay, that's cool. And then the ship just starts drifting and all the lights go off. I'm like, I didn't expect that. So, I mean, that's twice now.
But yeah, the title sequence wants you to try and think ahead of it. Like I said, this is first shot, black hole, matter being sucked in. Very visually powerful, very bright, very colourful, very cartoony, but very Trek cartoony. And you're wondering, are they going to get hit? And they do. So it gets your expectations, and that's good. And you're just like, oh no, they're not going to destroy the main ship in the title sequence. Oh no, it's fine. And it heroically warps by, and that's nice. Second shot is, I call it the Titanic shot. You're just like, oh, it's going to happen. But the detail of how it slashes the tires, in essence, I really enjoyed. It was more than I was expecting effort-wise.
It'd be kind of neat if they actually had like the old TNG style nacelles on it for this shot, and they like clip the ice, and then all of a sudden, next shot they got the newer nacelles.
That would have been fun, yeah. The history of the weird nacelles is because we broke the tile sequence. I mean, the shot is a bit daft though, because you'd think, piloting. It'd be better if it was an asteroid that was moving and sliced it, because it's a static object.
It might be a huge ice asteroid that is moving a little bit, and we got one of the ensigns on lower decks at the helm right now, obviously. So
yeah, but it's definitely fun. And then my favourite shot, hands down. I mean, this took me for an absolute. I was expecting, how are we going to damage the ship again? No. What are we treated to, Stuart? Unexpectedly, in a title sequence.
Something we've never seen before, and that's Romulan Warbirds going toe to toe with Borg cubes, and it made me wonder. And first of all, I was excited to see non-altered Romulan Warbirds, non-altered Borg cubes. They look exactly like they're supposed to, which is great. But it made me wonder if one of these Borg cubes was the artifact from Picard, because one of them is getting damaged, like in the one corner, right where there's a huge chunk out of the artifact. So it would be neat if it's a little bit of a, Easter egg tie-in kind of thing.
That was a scout ship, but I know what you mean. I mean, to be fair, at that point in the timeline, they hooked to these big ships, scout ships. But it's such a statement of intent of like, oh no, we're canon, we respect visual canon, we're animated so we can do a lot of stuff, we like to have fun, we get this is really cool, because this is just cool. And it's like, oh god, 6 cubes, oh god. hold my torpedo, And then and it's as simple as it shoots it and it flies off. Now I know you said in our review that people were calling it out for cowards, and I was like, it's 6 Borg cubes. One destroyed the entire, a massive portion of Federation fleet on 2 separate occasions. I don't understand that comment, that mentality. I felt that's someone looking for something harsh to say.
And 11 Romulan Warbirds. That is so cool. We've never seen a fleet of 11 Romulan Warbirds before, necessarily. Sure, we got some in the Dominion War helping out, but still.
Well, those are always the same, miniature shot. Clone.
Yeah, but this is such a great shot. And they get hit once, the shields flare up, and they just turn around and get out of there.
Nope. And to note, correct TNG bubble shields. Didn't even occur to me until right now, but no nonsense. Just unlike Discovery, where if you fire something at the hull, it goes in a fireball while hitting the shields. That's what they did in the season finale. Every weapon is a fireball. Doesn't make any sense. So this again, correct. Beautiful sequence.
The next shot was great. You see the ship coming in from the side, and it's like this beautiful in-warp shot, and it looks really nice. I was really digging the space shots in the whole show, but to see this one, I'm like, yeah, this is cool. It's like a serious shot now. Nope. We get a creature very reminiscent of Galaxy's Child, kind of suckling on the ship. This one's suckling on the warp nacelle, and I think it's fantastic. I didn't expect it. Like, I saw this beauty pass the ship, and I'm like, this is gonna be great. And it's like, oh wow.
It's the sort of shot where you're just like, wait, what? Yeah. You think you know what's happening. And it is conventional warp, guys. We have regained warp with some clouds, which, all things considered, okay, it's extra motion. I'll buy it. This is a great shot of the nacelles and stuff, and even the detail on that creature is great. Just like in Rick and Morty, they show unseen adventures in the entire sequence for every season, which change. A few of them we do see as the show goes on. So now I kind of wish we're going to get this episode. The Captain, there's a space amoeba. What's it doing? We're in trouble. Because it's a cool design for what it is.
Then we get a nice shot of the ship, kind of camera panning over the top of it, and the nice warp out at the end, which again is great to see. That classic warp out, the little burst of light at the end.
I mean, it's just how warp works. It's not even like it's classic. It's just how it works. All aliens, pretty much all the shows except TOS, but that's its own thing. Just use the... And Discovery did it a little bit, or cut it like a little bit, but it was still, like more of a... Look, we know you want us to do this, so we'll do something different. And obviously, the problem with this shot, it when you do this sort of close up, it shows how bland the ship could be from certain angles. That the color palette is just grey with that yellow, and there's little hints of. It's not, it's nothing against it per se, but it's not a very good looking saucer. It works better in motion. I mean, we called out the side view was pretty interesting. And obviously you get the big elephant in the room, and I'm sure we'll have to ask the director at some point. Registry on the back, like, it's deliberate. It's obviously not a correct registry placement. So what's the thought behind it? Because it's and this shot, like, the whole point of it is to show the registry, but it's in the wrong place for 99.9% of ships. So I'm wondering why. I mean, have you thought of a reason at this point, several weeks into seeing the ship?
Well, no, the only thing I can think of is that, like, the Enterprise D has 1701 back there in yellow for the shuttle bay, but that's to let the shuttles know what ship they're coming on to, essentially. The refit has the same thing. It's got the registry number and Enterprise on the back behind the bridge dome. So it is something that's a thing, but it's always a secondary registry. It's always either incomplete, just the last couple digits, or just the name of the ship. And it's weird. It is really weird. It's like the ship isn't finished. I would have loved to see this with the registry on the front. But there's got to be a reason for that, a specific reason that we just haven't gleaned yet. Because it is quite out of the box as far as all history of Federation ships. So.
It just needs an explanation, And the way they then have to do these close-ups to then highlight the back, it's odd. And it also makes the source even more plain, because your eye is not going to where it should be. You could have both, like have a primary big long one and then a smaller one. It's very odd, very, very odd. But hey, at least there are escape pod hatches, which there weren't on the Star Trek Picard final ships, the Zhang He or whatever it was, because they didn't even have those details at all, or phaser strips, so at least they put those details in. So yeah, I think the final shot is the weakest of the shots. It's the ending's nice, but they could have done a nicer angle going in. But nice. But I love that end still of the planet, the moon, and Incredible Mike Man and TNG font-esque. Just like, that's very classic, and it feels like an appropriate, like, we ended in Star Trek style. So
yeah, and that's something else I wanted to call out early on, is the font. Very, very TNG reminiscent, same color, and it was just, yes, this sets the era where this show is, and I love that. So kudos to them for that. I think that's probably it for this look at the intro, or the opening title sequence, if you will.
Do you think they might tweak it as they go on as well to have more? Because I mean, a lot of the shots are comedic, but I can always imagine they might change it a couple of times to put in other random one-off adventure bits, like those middle two.
I've considered that. I don't think they will. I think this is something that'll probably at least be all for season 1. They might change it for season 2. Yeah,
you should definitely change it for season 2 just for fun.
But it'd be fun if it did change every episode, because that'd give us more to talk about, which would be great. But no, I could see the show doing that. But at the same time, it's if it's going to stay like with the love of Star Trek that these guys have that made the show, I think it's going to stay the same. So
yeah, and just while I like it a lot, my only real complaint is that there's only 5 shots. It because they're quite long, it feels too short, Yeah.
Well, it feels a lot longer than I expected, obviously.
Okay.
For an animated show, so.
It's true. Yeah. Basically, Stuart, it's best of both worlds.
Aha. Especially that one scene with the Borg. Oh, wait a minute. What? Anyway, guys.
I bet
what did you
is
think?
Like rolling his grave. Why didn't I get 6 cubes? Damn it. I wanted all the cubes.
So guys, feel free to put your comments down below, what you think about the intro, the opening titles, whatever you want to call them. Did you enjoy it? Is it what you expected? Did you not like it? And let us know why down there. And also hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well, and click the notification bell icon to all, as we release a lot of breakdown videos like this for each and every episode. And we're looking forward to doing it, because there's lots to talk about by the looks of it in each episode. So please consider doing that and sharing the videos around to help out the channel.
And share it in the Trekyards fun by joining our lives every week, discussing Lower Decks, TNG, and other great things, breaking news, as you guys know, I'm sure. And Super Chat during those, if you can, allows you to have a comment read by us about anything. And often those comments drive the conversation. And if you've seen a thing and it's just like, oh my god, they need to see this, Super Chat, $2, and we're like, oh my god, you changed our world. that's a great way of doing it. But Patreon is a great way of silently supporting the show every single month. That's amazing. PayPal as well. Go to the website and just click on donate. Easy peasy. And just share, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. As you said, just shoot it.
That's right. So until next time, guys, I'm Captain Stuart Foley, played by Stuart Foley.
And I'm Commander Cockins, played by Admiral Samuel Cockins. It's all acting, you see.
And that's how that works. Wow. Bye, guys.